have forms. Just a quick announcement, if you want to make a public comment, just make sure you fill out the speaker card, so that way we can put you on the list, ¿ok? Básicamente, ya están los traductores. Bueno, básicamente, si quieren hacer un comentario, asegúrense de llenar la forma y mandarlo a nosotros para que lo podamos agregar a la lista.
You have a Starbucks addiction?
Quiero ser en inglés.
I'm not counting, but I think this is his third. Okay. Oh, but you had green tea.
No, it is.
Oh,
and then
no.
also the other
Uh-huh.
coffee.
Sí, ya con el
The lavender.
Lavender.
My second venti.
I'll drink
Thank
water.
Buenas tardes.
¿Cómo estás?
Trabajado y mal pagado.
Ay, sorry.
Como siempre.
Como siempre.
Ya estamos por.
How are you?
Sí, bien.
Te tienes que ir para afuera. Okay, hi everybody. Thank you so much for everybody for coming here. We're gonna start our meeting now that we have quorum. It's 5:30, and I want to be I want to be mindful of everybody's time. But thank you so much for coming. One last thing, if you want to make a public announcement, make sure this is the last call to fill out the paperwork. Just fill out the form and then give it to our secretary Roxanne, and then we'll put it to the list. And we're gonna proceed. So anybody wants to make public comment? Okay. So now we're gonna start the meeting. I'm gonna do a roll call, and then we're gonna go in the agenda. The agendas are all the way over there. So I'm gonna proceed to do roll call. So you say present if you're present. Marnie Levy Walton,
Present.
Adriana Castañeda, Alfredo Ripa, Alberto Pérez, Goyo Ortiz,
Present.
Stanford Morrison,
Present.
Rodolfo López Jr., Marcia Pérez Hinojosa, Alejandro Farias, Consuelo Delgadillo, Lourdes Charqueño, Paola Redondo,
Here.
Roxanne Palestino,
Here.
Olga Espinosa,
Here.
Christian Fuentes Hernandez here. So now we're gonna go to the item number 2, which is the approval of the published agenda. Do I make a motion to approve the agenda? Does anybody second?
Second.
Thank you. So all those that say yes, say aye, and those that oppose say nay. So aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Nays? So the motion passes. Now we're gonna approve the minutes. I send the ones for April on email. Does anybody wanna look through them really quick, or can I make a motion? Okay, I make a motion to approve of the minutes.
Second.
Thank you. So those that approve it say yes. Those that are against say nay. And if you wanna say abstain. So I make a motion for the minutes. Any ayes?
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstains? Okay, one abstain from Mr. Delgadillo. So now we're gonna proceed to do a public comment on matters that are not in the agenda. So the people that fill it out, if we can start with Lourdes Galicia. This is your time. You have 3 minutes. I'm gonna put in the speaker, and you can ask any questions or share what you wanna say.
Hi, the question that I have is for the bike lanes that we have on Bayer Avenue. You know that they're closed right now since where the crossing is and there's a stop there. You know, there's a lot of traffic there. When are they going to start opening those areas so that way there's not so much traffic? Because it is also taking a lot of space on that road. So I was wondering how soon are they gonna start finishing that job? That's basically one of the things that I have. And another comment that I have, I don't know if I can also take advantage of that. there are, on the area of Cottonwood, they're gonna be building housing right there on the corner. And that corner is very dangerous because it's like a curve. And there's a lot of traffic because we have the MTS transfer, we have also the trolley. And I was wondering, and I understand that it takes about, the process about a year to change, instead of going both ways, just to do it this way going north and then on the other street, because there are two schools. And the school is the Catholic school and there's the Sunset School. So there's a lot of kids there. And we're talking about 63 apartments that are gonna be in that corner. So it's for family. So we're gonna have seniors that will be using either the walker or the cane, plus moms that are gonna take the kids to school using the stroller. So it's gonna be a lot of walking and crossing and everything. My concern is, when you see the bus going that way or coming this way, and there's that SUV or a car like that, they're parked here, so there's not enough space. So I was wondering if there's any way that we can have that is just a one-way street going up, a one-way street going down, so that way we can protect, the families, the kids, to avoid any problems. And we still have times, because they're gonna take probably in 2026 when they're gonna finish doing the apartments. So I've been thinking about that, and every time that I go to meetings, I try to explain to the persons that go in, through the city, to explain that situation. If they can have a little bit of time to just go around it, so they can see what I'm talking about. Actually, there are 3 streets that they can go just one way, because they're very narrow, the cars are wide, plus we have the buses. That's the thing that I would like to see in the future, if possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we have Denise Juarez Aguilar, who is from the office of District 1 in the County of San Diego. So, what is it?
Yes, I'm just going to stand there so I can see everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Denise Juarez Aguilar, and I am coming from the district office for number 1 of the County of San Diego. As you might have known, my coworker, Ernesto Castañeda, he transitioned to another position with the Office of Assemblymember Alvarez. So I know that he was really good and everything, and I wanted to give an explanation that he transitioned to a new role. We still have staff members available to help you out in the county office if you need anything. We're there to help you. I wanted to let you know that from now on, I'm going to be assisting to the meeting. So if you have any questions or you need to address me, I'm more than happy to help. Today I have to leave a little bit early due to a conflict of schedule, but I wanted to take a moment to introduce myself and let you know that we're here to help you out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there any other people? Okay, so now we're gonna move to item number 4, which is the presentation of the San Ysidro Collaborative. But I know that I'm sorry, Valerie asked me, she has to go, and she wants to give her a quick update from the office of Representative Vargas, right? Before you are able to leave.
Yeah, sorry. So there's another community meeting right after this one at 6 o'clock, so that's why I had to leave a little bit early. But I just wanted to, I know I met a lot of you at the last meeting we had last month, but I'm with the Office of Congressman Juan Vargas. I'm a field representative for this area, and I just wanted to give us some few updates. So on May 29th, the congressman, alongside the Imperial Beach Mayor, Paloma Aguirre, and Rev. Scott Peters, welcomed U.S. Senator Cory Booker to the region, which was a good event since it brought nationwide interest to the topic of the TRD. And then additionally, on June 2nd, the congressman, alongside the San Diego congressional delegation and local leaders, held a press conference announcing the federal ICE raid that took place on May 30th in South Park, San Diego. And then soon after, he joined the delegation in a letter demanding answers from the DHS secretary regarding that raid, and also a series of questions asking, some of them were regarding how it was de-escalated and other things like that. I can share the letter if anybody's interested. And then additionally, our office was notified at the end of May, the job corps in Imperial Beach will be shutting down. Right now, it's on a halt because of a federal judge. Job corps is a program created by Congress, so Congress is the one that decides if it ends or if it stays. So right now, it's halted. The congressman joined a letter again, expressing interest that it stays, the program stays. And then, good news is that HR 1948, which is a bill that the congressman co-sponsored, it passed the House on June 9th, and essentially would allow the IBWC, the International Boundary Water Commission, which runs the South Bay International Plan, to receive funding outside of federal sources, so state, local, and other entities. And then aside from that, yes. And then the other thing I want to bring up is that tomorrow the IBWC is having their citizens forum in the city of Coronado, their community center. So if anybody's interested in going, I would definitely recommend it. They're going to give updates on the plant and hopefully updates on SAB, the San Antonio de los Buenos plant. But that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So now,
I have a question for you.
use one quick question.
I only want to know if Juan is doing something to help the people in California. The people who participate in the protest, because now the federal government sent tanks to Los Angeles, and it's awful.
No, you're right. And it's something that our office is tracking and something the congressman is very, very interested in. I didn't mention it here, but in the end of May, he also introduced a bill that would require ICE to provide more data on who they're taking in and more precautions, because right now that's not happening. And then the raids, there's no official statement on that right now at the moment, but it's something the congressman is very, very, very interested in. And also my colleague, Answet Varela, she handles all immigration affairs for our office. And she's the one, if there's ever any ICE entities anywhere in the office, anywhere in the district or anything like that, she's the one who calls ICE or CBP or DHS to make sure, if it's true or not.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now we're gonna move to Ms. Erika Reyna. She's gonna do a quick presentation from San Ysidro Collaborative. So you have around 10 minutes to present.
Yeah. It's okay if I stand. Okay. Hello, I see a lot of familiar faces. Actually, I started with a collaborative 2 months ago. This is going to be a third meeting. I work for Goodwill. I don't know if you guys know, we have an employment center right in front of the store here in San Ysidro. And what we do there is a community center for anyone that's looking for a job. So we help them with the job search. It's just focused on job search. So we help them with their resumes, applications, interview skills. We have workshops to help our community that's looking for work for free, because I've heard a lot that they go to different offices around San Ysidro, other businesses, and they charge them to help them submit applications. And I just wanna, let the whole community that we have resources and we do everything for free. We don't charge to be sitting there with them and submitting applications. What I do, I'm the one that supervises that. So go ahead. That center. So I have a lot of contacts with employers and organizations. So they let me know if they're hiring. So for instance, I don't know, Walmart. And they send me, they know, it's a long and difficult application. So they know we help them, with the process. So whenever they have openings, they let me know and they say, hey, be ready, because I'm going to be sending people over there, but you can advertise that we're hiring. Same with Goodwill. Every Tuesdays from 11 to 2, we do interviews. I'm the only center. First, let me start there. We have 7 centers from Oceanside all the way here to San Ysidro. But I'm the only center that has one of our HR recruiters visit us here every Tuesday from 11 to 2. So anyone interested in working within Goodwill, they don't have to wait for an interview or anything. Just go before 11, so we can submit the application and right there have their interview. I have, like I said, I started with a collaborative, and it's a third, this last Thursday of the month is our third meeting. And what I did, I go to different collaboratives. I go to Chula Vista, National City, Oceanside, I go everywhere. But it's always closed just for the organizations. So we all know, I already know everyone, like their presentations, because we go to different ones and we see each other. So what I did difference is that I open it to the public for our community. So our first, we have 14 community members outside with, and 17 organizations that visit us. And they're coming all the way to north and down here south because they want to start like getting to know, our San Ysidro community. And hey, we've been trying to find a space or a place to be there and connect with the San Ysidro community. So it's been a success this past 2 meetings. So you guys are more than welcome. It's the last Thursday of every month from 9:30 to 11. This month, I have some flyers right here, English and Spanish for the community. What I'm adding to this collaborative meeting is I'm having 2 presenters, 2 organizations. This month is going to be Blue Chills, because I have a couple of a community going over there and say, hey, I need help with Blue Chills and insurance, and I have no idea. So I went and tried to contact someone from Blue Chills. So someone is coming to the presentation and try to help them do whatever they need. Molina Health is going to come too. They're going to be another of our presenters. And what I'm doing new this month is I'm bringing an employer. So each month for our collaborative, it's going to be one employer in there too. So they're going to have their table or use one of my offices, and whoever's interested on the positions they have open, they can have their interview there. So this month I'm going to have Pegasus. It's a cleaning company, and along with Molina and Blue Chills, that's going to be presenting. And so anyone, like I said, it's invited to attend, open to the public. And also, if you guys know anyone that's looking for work, we're there to help too. So like I said, we have Oceanside, Escondido, San Diego, Chula Vista, San Ysidro, La Mesa. We have a mobile center. If you guys have an event and want to have our mobile center there, we have a mobile center too that we can help anyone to submit applications. And of course, our San Ysidro one. That's the one I'm trying to advertise more, and that the whole San Ysidro, that they don't have to pay $50 to $75 for them to submit an application. Everything there is free, and we try to have I try to have a lot of resources. I had a person today, and he went in and said, hey, someone told me that you guys can help me here. I need a house, I need a place to stay. So I connect them with my contacts, and they're helping him with housing right now. So that's the kind of help, extra help that we give. So I don't know if you guys have any questions.
Is the collaborative just for goodwill? I mean, is it goodwill? What is the San
Ysidro, okay, the collaboratives, the ones that I go, it's just a monthly meeting for organizations that we work, nonprofits or anyone that would like to present their services. So we know exactly what they do, so we can refer.
Nonprofits,
Yes.
not just.
Oh, nonprofits and whoever wants to advertise their businesses or nonprofits or whatever. So it's for us to have that information. And like, for instance, today that I have one of my clients, hey, I need this kind of housing. I know exactly who to call or, send them, go here. I'm not the one, I don't know how to submit the application. I don't know how to do this, but she's going to help you. So I have that kind of information. Yeah. Because anything related to employment, yeah, I can help. I'm there. Resumes, applications, I do workshops. We have actually 5 workshops right now. We're working on the 5th one. 6th one. So it's resume building, job applications, ASA interview, workplace communication, and conflict resolution in the workplace. So that's what we focus right now, helping our community.
So if it's like it's kind of like a 2-on-1 support for the community, but more of an in-person instead of
Yes, and actually we have partnerships. We have partnerships with a lot of, I'm part of a 211. I'm one of the ones that they send me the referrals, or I can refer to 211. I work with them.
And I'm sorry, my apologies, I walked in a few minutes late, so I apologize for that. But do you have a location where, like a center, having for this stuff?
Yes, right here in San Ysidro. I don't know if the Goodwill store.
Uh-huh.
Right in front of this Goodwill store. That's my building. The thing is, I've been putting up signs and then they steal it. So I'm trying to put another one. So yeah, this is a banner on this side, the side of the street, on Front Street. And they've been stealing this a third time because it's a huge banner. So we're trying to, I don't know, do something else differently because now they know they're being stealing like that. Yeah, so yeah, that's why not a lot of community here in San Ysidro know that I'm there. Yeah, so this is the idea of the collaborative, so everyone knows that we're there and bringing.
What would be the cross streets, so we?
It's Front Street.
Front Street.
So it's San Ysidro Boulevard and then it's a Y with Front Street.
Oh.
I don't know if you know what the KFC used to be.
Yes.
It's not there anymore, so it's a Y, it's the San Ysidro Boulevard and then Front Street right here, I'm right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm right there. Yeah, and actually, planning a lot of events here in San Ysidro. I'm gonna ask for the support too. But next Tuesday, I'm also gonna have a job and resource fair from 9 to 1. So,
One last question from Mr. Gaddy.
Do you have flyers? Because we can pass during the food distribution. We
I have the
distribution.
flyers, English and Spanish for the community collaborative, and some of the brochures from the employment center. So, but
On
I'll
the
just
first
leave them right
Tuesday of the month, we give the food on Mount Carmel and shop about around from 300
With Alicia?
to 350.
Yeah.
And the third Friday in Las Americas.
somebody can volunteer.
through drive-thru.
Thank you, yeah.
We
I'll
can
probably help.
pass- we can pass the flyers if you want.
Oh,
Give us.
thank you, yeah, I really appreciate it, and that's a great idea that I can go over there in the morning and start letting our community know, yeah. Alright, and I'm gonna leave them right here, so if you guys wanna get a copy of it, and more than welcome to see you there at the last Thursday of this month at 9:30 a.m. I have coffee and galletas and pan, so more than welcome. Any other question?
I'd like to make a comment. I've been to them and it's pretty refreshing. There's everybody that goes is really welcoming. And I didn't even know that Goodwill was there in San Ysidro. I didn't know they even had an employment center. And I do think that's a lot of the needs that our community members need. Like sometimes they might need help with the applications, they don't know where to print, they don't know. So it's a really good resource that we have and we don't even know.
Yeah, I do a lot of partnerships, so the last partnership that I did, it was a PC for people and Indeed. So I gave away like 500 laptops for free. And it was hard first because they said, oh, they're gonna charge me, but no, I try to do a lot. Right now I have lifts. So whenever a job seeker, they have an interview, they don't know how to get there, I don't have a car, whatever, I give them a code and so they can go and don't miss their interview. It's a lot of help.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So if we run out of time, you can ask her in private.
The question that I have, do you partner also with Casa Familiar, that they have a lot
We've
of
been to,
promoters?
we've been to a lot of,
So for the flyers, I think that will be a good place to have them.
they already have them, yes.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, because I have promotoras going to the meetings.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we're gonna move to a presentation by the Commissioner of Police Practices by Yasmin Obey. Let me put in your presentation. You have around 10 minutes.
With questions?
No, questions are gonna be.
That is 8 and 2.
Wait, I'm sorry. Let me look for your presentation. I thought I had it.
There we go. It's that way.
Perfect. Now. There you go.
Hello everyone, do you mind putting the whole screen down? Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Yasmin Abid. I'm with the Commission on Police Practices. And I'm here today to share with you all what is the Commission on Police Practices, what do we actually do, how can you be a part of the commission, and how can you stay up to date with the work we're doing. I'm curious, before we get started, how many people have heard about the Commission on Police Practices? Okay, yeah. Couple of folks, great, wonderful. Well, for everyone else, I'm excited to share a little bit more with you. We can go to the next slide. Whenever you hear Commission on Police Practices, I want you to associate that with police oversight. So a lot of people don't know this, but in the city of San Diego, we've had police oversight since 1985. And over the years, what happened is that body kind of became a lot more independent, gained a lot more powers, changed in composition, name, etc. But really, the concept of police oversight stayed over the years. And the latest iteration of that is the Commission on Police Practices, which was created when Measure B passed in 2020. So since then, we've been in the process of building our office, and about a year and a half ago, we got new commissioners, new volunteers appointed, and we're now up and running and hiring staff and getting work done. Yeah. So what is the Commission on Police Practices? We are an investigatory body of the city of San Diego. We're independent of the mayor. That's important because the mayor is the chief or is the boss of the police. We're independent of the police chief and police department, and we also have our own staff and budget. So we also have our own attorneys. We're independent from the city attorney. And we have three main powers that I'm going to go over: investigatory, review, and auditing powers. And just a quick note, I work as a staff member with the commission, so I work with on supporting the day-to-day operations for our volunteer commissioners that do a lot of the policy work and investigations, etc. Our mission is to hold law enforcement accountable to the community and to increase community trust in law enforcement, resulting in increased safety for both the community and law enforcement. This is where I'm going to spend the bulk of my time, which is what is our purpose as the Commission on Police Practices. Number one, provide independent community oversight of the San Diego Police Department. You can think of us as a third party that makes sure the process of investigations is complete and thorough. So let's say someone files a complaint, the police department investigates it, we come in and make sure that process between both parties was good. They took into account everything that needed to be taken into account. No one was no one's testimony was dismissed or no evidence was dismissed. So we come in and we make sure that while they're doing their investigations, the police department, that it's thorough and complete and it's fair to the officers and the people who are submitting those complaints. Number two, evaluate complaints against SDPD sworn personnel. What does that actually mean? Let's say when one of you on the way to this meeting had an interaction with a police officer, you didn't feel good about that interaction, so you decided, I'm gonna file a complaint. When you do that, that complaint goes to the police department and they assign an investigator to your complaint. Once the investigator does their full role of looking at the footage, listening to your testimony, listening to the officer's testimony, listening to other witnesses, etc., they create a report. That report gets submitted to us, and then our own investigators who are not associated with the police department do the whole process again, and they go over everything one more time to make sure that the police officers, investigators didn't miss a single thing. So that's what an evaluation of complaints looks like. Number three, evaluate and review SDPD policies, practices, training, and protocols. What that really means is our staff and volunteer commissioners look at what are the best practices nationwide when it comes to policing, and how can we bring those best practices to San Diego. So for example, back in November, we made a recommendation around when and how should the police department pursue other vehicles on the street at high speed. And we made a package with 9 recommendations. The police chief accepted 6 of the 9 of them and promised to continue working on the last 3. So that's kind of one of the examples. And then the final piece, thank you, The final piece is investigate officer-involved shootings, in-custody deaths, deaths resulting from interactions with the police officers, etc. What this means is our ability to conduct independent investigations that are not done by law enforcement. So, for example, in the future, we don't have this power yet. Even though Measure B gave it to us, we're still negotiating what the actual process looks like with the police union. But in the future, if there's a police shooting in the community and someone passed away, usually it's only the police department that's investigating, collecting evidence, doing everything for those investigations. And if it's done, excuse me, if the shooting happened by SDPD, the sheriff department does it. This allows us, a third party, not associated with law enforcement, to be independently investigated as well. And we would actually publish these reports to the community. That way you can have access to everything that went into that investigation as well. So this is huge. We're still working on it. We anticipate it taking about 1 to 2 years before we actually have this authority. But that's kind of the purpose behind us. You can think of it as 4 points. 1, we operate as a third party. We make sure investigations are thorough and complete. We review and evaluate policies and trainings and make recommendations for change. And in the future, we will independently investigate cases as well. Any questions so far? Go ahead.
So all the cases that you investigate, they automatically send them, right? So it's just like kind of like on the random case, or if anybody that, for example, you know someone and they have a case, are you guys able to look into it? Or is it
So when we have independent investigation authority, we would be able to investigate things. So let's say a shooting happened, the community is outraged. We can go out and investigate that. Or there's a case of sexual harassment, we would investigate it. However, before we get that authority, we can only review what they investigated, what the police department investigated, unfortunately. See why it's a huge deal when we actually get that authority?
So the question to answer, you don't before your time.
Okay.
Extra time.
I'll take one more if that's okay,
Okay.
but the rest is quick.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
How do drones fit into this picture with that technology coming out and being part of the police department?
We have not yet talked about drones when it came to policies, but we will have a policy retreat at the end of this month that's going to highlight what are the policies of the police department that we want to focus on for the next 3 years. Yes, we can go to the next. Thank you. Really quick, the rest are pieces that I hope you can receive through the email. But we have 25 positions for volunteers, and they come from different parts of the city, as well as different age ranges. So 2 of them, for example, are young people, specifically 18 to 24. Next. Qualifications, I'll also skip over this really quickly, but really, the first one just means that if you're applying for a youth seat, then you have to be between 18 to 24. Or if you live in San Ysidro, then you have to apply to the D8 position. You can't apply to the D9 position, for example. Next. Great. So just really quickly, we meet twice a month on the first and third Wednesday of the month. And our meetings are about 3 hours. We change locations. So if you're interested, our agendas are always posted 72 hours in advance. We would love to have folks join our commission and be a part of this work and actually looking at the policies and procedures and improving what is happening within SDPD. And if you're interested, this slide gives you information about how to be nominated, how to complete your application, and then the third step, which is accepting your nomination in writing. So sorry, I'm skipping through all of this. Next meeting is June 18th, which is the third Wednesday of the month. And it's going to be focused primarily on our closed session, which is when we go over the investigations or the cases. Finally, last slide that I really want to highlight is who and why should we file complaints. I want you all to think about complaints as an opportunity to ask the department to look a little bit closer into a specific incident. A complaint doesn't get an officer into trouble. All it does is it says, hey, can y'all pay attention to this incident just a little bit closer? Can you make sure that this officer is following the policies and procedures of the department and that they're doing everything the way they're supposed to do? A lot of times I would say 50 to 60% of complaints show us that officers are following policies and procedures, and between 30 to 40% come back and show us there's areas of improvements and there's gap areas that we can work on. So that's why they're beneficial. They give us really good data. What to include if you are filing a complaint, anything you include is helpful, and you don't have to include everything if you're not comfortable. You can submit it anonymously, but we recommend including as much information as possible to make it easier on the person who's actually conducting the investigation. You can file a complaint through 5 different ways: website through that QR code, phone, email, in person at our address, or by mail. Please take a moment to pull up your phones and follow us on social media. We love to make sure our community is informed and up to date on our work. And then for those who prefer email, we will also have a slide for you to join our newsletter, which we will go to momentarily. I think one person is trying to go. There we go. Okay. And I have a printed. I only have one, sadly. I was trying to, but you have the PDF, and please feel free to email it to everyone. The next one is you can join our newsletter. For those who prefer email, please scan this code. And then finally, you'll just have my email on that last slide for you to reach out to me. And I'm gonna leave this copy here if anyone wants to take photos of it. And I'll also leave my card in the back with it. That's it.
I'll allocate, is 7 minutes good for questions? Or-
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna allocate 7 minutes, so we can ask questions.
Go ahead.
Are there any plans to incorporate submitting a review request or whatever to get it done app? That would be.
We're incorporating the complaint system into the Get It Done app. Someone actually just mentioned that very recently in one of our meetings. I'm not sure what the process looks like, but I do know that it was flagged for our commissioners, and I'm pretty sure someone is looking into it, but I'm happy to bring it up one more time.
Okay, so
Yeah.
and also if we're submitting a complaint like at the police station,
Yeah.
we also need to submit a complaint if we want to review it by you
No.
separately, or do you review all complaints?
Any complaint the police department receives, they have to send it to us within 5 business days. And any complaint we receive, we have to share it with the department within 5 business days. Yeah. So either or, we recommend people to submit it through us so that we can help you track it if you ever need updates and you're not hearing back from the department. Yes.
¿Tú trabajas para los policías?
Do you work for the police?
I do not. I work with the Commission on Police Practices, which is an independent department in the city. I'm a city staff. I'm not involved with the police department at all.
Okay.
You mentioned that it's by district, so.
So 9 of the positions are district specific, 1 from each district, but the rest are not by district. So there's 9 of them at large, which means you can live any part of the city of San Diego and serve. There's 5 of them from low to moderate income areas. I believe San Ysidro is a low to moderate income area, but I'm not sure. It is, right? And then 2 of them are youth seats, so anyone between 18 to 24 can serve. Yeah.
Just, do you know, San Ysidro's represented in this?
Like if someone specifically lives in San Ysidro, I don't know where everyone lives, to be honest, but I don't think so.
Okay.
But we are getting 8 people. You might know more about that. We are getting 8 people appointed on July 1st. I don't know who these people are yet, so maybe. But please join. We do have openings.
How long has this been going on, this committee?
So the commission has been up and running officially since August 29, 2023. Yeah. So it has not been a full 2 years yet. Yes.
You say that, like, so what happens when you guys do investigate and there's like misconduct of some kind? What repercussions can you guys do to police officers, or is it some other method of that?
Excellent question. So right now we can't yet investigate, we can only evaluate. So the department investigates and we make sure that the investigation is thorough. That's the difference. At the end of the day, we are a recommended body. So when that happens, let's say Internal Affairs, which is the department that investigates it in San Diego Police Department, they say this officer didn't do anything wrong. And we say, actually, the officer did something wrong and this needs to be sustained. Usually there's a negotiation, so we'll go back and say, hey, can y'all add this to the report and fix it? Sometimes they'll say yes, sometimes they'll say no. If they say yes and agree with us and they sustain the finding, then the officer will be disciplined based on the guidelines of the police department itself. So sometimes it's a verbal discipline, sometimes it's a written discipline, sometimes it all the way to firing, basically. So it depends on the severity of the issue and what the kind of supervisor at the time decides to discipline the officer. Now, in cases where they don't agree with us and we're seeing this issue come back and back again, we sometimes will take it and create a policy recommendation and go directly to the chief if we're not hearing back from internal affairs. So those are the different ways that we negotiate. We are at the end of the day a recommended body, unfortunately, so we can't enforce it. The chief of police only can enforce it.
Is the person that made that issue at your office to let you know about what happened, would he or she be notified of the outcome?
Yes.
Investigation?
Yes, it does take a while though. So sometimes it will take 6 months to 9 months for people to hear back. And a lot of times people will forget about it. There's a year. Once someone files a complaint, the department has a year to investigate the case and pursue discipline. Outside of that year, they can't do it per the requirements of the California law protecting officers. So usually within the year, they'll hear back. Yeah. Yes.
Sorry. Is there anything that you guys are looking to, able to do to get more enforcement power? Or is it restricted by the department that you're in?
At this moment, we are really trying to operate within the powers that we have because we just started. Something like that in the future would require another ballot measure probably, or city council to make those changes. So it's a larger deal than just us, unfortunately. In 2020, San Diego voters put that law on the ballot. It wasn't us, it was people from the community that did this work. And 75% of voters voted yes to make us happen. So it's definitely gonna take that larger effort to get additional powers. Yes.
Is there anything in work to make that arbitration, which is the process of that you were just discussing?
Not at the moment.
More efficient? Because 6 to 9 months, it's a long
Oh,
time.
yes, that process, we are working on figuring out how to make that, our complaint process more efficient. A lot of times, like right now, the moment we receive a complaint, we're assigning it directly. We don't have a backlog, we're on it, but we can't control how we receive it from the department. That's the issue. Because we're not doing our own investigations, we're still relying on them to complete that initial report. But from our end, we're doing everything in our power to make it more efficient, quicker, and have better communication with community. Yeah. We're not there yet, but we are working on it. And then I saw a hand here and there. 40 seconds, I think we can do it. Go.
When you do your recommendation, will you also publish like, oh, the police department, they don't agree with this?
Yes.
So they'll do the
Yes.
whole process.
The chief is required to respond to us in writing within 60 days, and we always attach that to our initial
And
recommendation.
even what happened afterwards, it was just like a verbal thing, or they actually got.
They're required to do it in writing, so
Okay.
we ask for the writing because we want transparency with the community. Yeah. Then I have 20 seconds. Did you have a question?
Yes, I wanted to ask, I made I'm the one that keeps making comments about, the number of, officers that the city has, and we've constantly heard that there isn't enough officers for the entire, city area, and we've been told that there just isn't enough officers for the most important areas, like San Ysidro. We like to think that we're small. San Ysidro is small, so we don't need a lot of officers on the streets.
Yeah.
But our area is quite spread out. And I'm always concerned about police response, and I've been told that there isn't enough officers to go around, and I've called for certain complaints,
Mhm.
and they usually, answer, whatever, there's too many officers patrolling other areas, so there isn't enough.
Yeah, I hear you, and that sounds really frustrating. Unfortunately, because of the way we operate, we don't have any direct connection with the police department when it comes to staffing or anything. We only focus on whether the officers are following the policies and procedures of the department. So that would be something that the police department itself would have to work on, or city council.
So that's usually something that the commissioner would have to address, or the city mayor, somebody.
Yes, so the city mayor or police chief would be the right people for that, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, for your time, I appreciate all the work that you do, so thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And you could give us your business cards?
Yes, so, should I put them in the bag?
Yes,
or-
please.
Okay, I'll put, I have a few copies, and I'll leave this if anyone wants to put it in the back as well.
Now we're gonna move to item number 4, to item C, but I know the office of David Alvarez also has to go. So if you wanna give your announcement really quick.
Yes, I can leave. Hi, everyone. I'm Liliana with Assemblymember David Alvarez, and I have a few updates. 9 bills out of the 16 that the member introduced this year passed out of the Assembly, and AB 655 was passed the Senate Business Professions and Economic Development Committee this week on Monday, and it's now heading to Senate Appropriations for further consideration. And this bill would expand representation at the California-Mexico Border Relations Council by adding a state assembly member and a state senator in a border district. So one from our area would be added to that. And then, as I mentioned in the last report, the legislature must pass a budget bill by midnight of June 15th. And they're currently working on it, and they have to have a vote on it by Monday, and it's expected to be on Friday, that vote, and then it will continue to the process for it to be sent to the governor, and hopefully he votes or he signs it or vetoes it by June 27th. So I can keep on bringing updates, and if you have any specific questions, please let us know, or any issues with any state-related departments, state-related issues.
Thank you so much. Now we're gonna move to item number C. Thank you so much, Ruth. The floor is yours. You have around 10 minutes.
Thank you. I don't think I'll take up the 10 minutes, but I appreciate it. So I'm here with Casa Familiar. We work here in San Ysidro, or maybe I should move over here. So you guys don't have to turn your back. Yeah, so I work with youth services for Casa Familiar, specifically the CAT program. So CAT stands for Community Assessment Team. We work with so-called at-risk youth. So if you know any youth that have run away or struggling in school, maybe they're, skipping classes, family needs a little extra support, or anything like that, even if the youth just wants community service. I know a lot of high schoolers just want their community service done. We're more than willing to work with them to do that. So during our program, this is short-term case management. So we see them for only 3 months, twice a month. If there are more needs in the family, we'll see them more often. So we do extend our services to the family, not just the youth. So if the family is struggling financially, we provide services to them as well. But yeah, that's kind of like in a nutshell what CAT does. We'll do college field trips. We have social and emotional groups for girls and boys. But yeah, that's kind of what we do. I do have flyers. Can I pass those out? Okay, cool. So I do have flyers, and I do have a sign-in sheet. If you do know some youth that might benefit from our services, I'm just asking for the youth's name, date of birth, and a contact number if possible. If not, it is totally okay. So any questions?
So the kids, the youth, what if they have a record?
So if they have a record, we will put them down as direct connects from our end, and we connect them with South Bay Community Services, so they can be in a divisional
a juvenile divisional program. So we are a prevention program. So this is before they have encounters with the law. Let's say they get stopped, but there isn't anything that the police has written, anything on the record, we will still work with them. But if there is something on the record, we do connect them to juvenile division. Yes.
Do you have anything, something like a boot camp that you could take him in there?
No, we do not.
That would help a lot.
Maybe juvenile division, but not prevention services.
Yeah, so that. Yeah.
It's a different area, yeah. But I know the teen center does have some resources as well. So if they can benefit from resources at the teen center, we'll connect them over there. Also, quick note, as case managers, we're not psychologists, we're not therapists. So we are not going to fix all of their problems. We connect them to services and advocate for the family as much as possible. Any other questions? I'll pass out flyers.
One player.
Oh, sí.
If there is no more questions, then we're gonna move to the next item of the agenda.
I'll take a flyer as well.
Thank you, everybody. Now we're gonna move to item number D. So for those in the board, I wrote a letter of resolution that I wanted to introduce. I know we've been talking about public safety for a lot, and I know we said that we're gonna make a meeting to talk about safety, but I will tell you issues that we had in the chair updates, but that's why we had to postpone it until this meeting. But in the meanwhile, I met with some people from Willow Bridge. They said that they will really appreciate if we can do something about it. So I wrote this letter. I hope you'll have the time to review it, and I will really appreciate if we can approve it, but we can also make amendments or we can vote against it. So, but I'll give you maybe 2 minutes so you can read it if you haven't had the chance. And members of the public, I'm gonna put it on the I'm gonna put it on the screen so people can see it.
I think we should write a resolution like this for all of San Ysidro,
This is the beginning.
not just Willow.
Let me know when 11 seconds go.
Vivian Moreno.
Porque cuando vino ella se habló de eso.
Sí, en el segundo dice que ella está moviendo con el departamento de policía, más seguridad, número 2.
Okay, 6:24. Now I'm gonna introduce this. I'm gonna introduce the discussion for this item. So does anybody wanna say something about this item?
I think it's great.
I think it's a really well-written letter. And I think
Pero
that
como dice Mr. Ripa, debe de ser nomás en el puente de la Willow, en la Bayer Boulevard, San Ysidro Boulevard, todo San Ysidro. Estoy de acuerdo con que se incremente más presencia policial.
Anybody else wants? Is Espinosa?
So on number 4, regarding the school students equality, I think you should write something like this to the district. So they are like aware, especially that community that's going to have a lot of kids there, and maybe they can support to like, it's across path to the Willow.
Is the Willow School?
No.
Yet?
I was thinking that should be like the next step.
also to piggyback kind of on what she just mentioned, I know that San Ysidro has like a hot team for the homeless. So we could get them to do the same with them, to bring them in for support. is already trying to work on it. I just don't think they have as much process, but I think with more community support, they might have a better initiative to keep supporting or at a greater level. Yeah, but very well written.
That property, do they have security there?
Which property?
The property, the property where the bridge is, like the one with part of the parking right there.
No.
It's a public street, that area?
It doesn't look like it, but
I thought
yes,
it was part
it
of the
is.
park, oh. What street is that?
Yeah.
Willow? Oh,
Any other? If not, then I make a motion to make this into a vote. So those that say yes, say aye. Those that oppose say nay. And if you want to abstain, say abstain. So aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstains? Then this resolution passes. We pass our first resolution. So the next steps, I'm gonna send this to the office of Vivian Moreno, which I know that I'm gonna send this in a fancy email to the office of Todd Gloria to Caltrans. And then I was thinking of also pushing it to the district, letting them know, the San Ysidro School District, so maybe they can write a similar resolution. The San Diego, I will CC the San Diego Police Department too. And I do want to share that, yes, I agree that we should do it for more things. So if you have another issue that you want to tackle, let us know. Maybe if you don't feel comfortable writing a resolution by yourself, we can write a resolution together.
But that's for Caltrans as well, so you have to get Caltrans involved.
They are addressed, so yes, Caltrans too.
Okay.
So
The housing commissions, don't they have like vouchers and stuff for homeless that can actually be a supportive service as well?
I actually don't know about that. I don't have an answer for that.
Okay, I have a friend that works there, I'll ask her.
Thank you. So now we're gonna move to section B, so elected officials. So Mr. Lopez, I think you're the only one here left, so the floor is yours.
Okay, great.
This has been a very, very busy month, so let me start off with some of the biggest things that's been happening. For just to say hello, my name is Giancarlo Lopez. I'm the council representative for Councilmember Moreno, representing San Ysidro. Some things happening this month. The City of San Diego, pursuant to Measure B and Prop 218, has passed the trash fee. The trash fee, as you all may remember, was something that was brought up a few months back. This was also something that was voted on in 2022. And essentially, it would be a change to the city's policy on receiving trash services and financing them through the general fund to now financing them through property taxes. The vote for this was 6-3. Councilmember Moreno voted yes on it. If you have questions on why she voted yes, if you have questions on implementation, those types of questions, it is based on different factors, so not everybody will be affected the same time. But generally speaking, it will be from July to August where you can see some of these implementations taking place. So again, we can talk about it after as well, if you have any lengthy questions. The second thing is the US IBWC, the United States International Boundary Water Commission, and the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, launched a fast-track expansion to address the Tijuana River water and air quality concerns. This announcement was made to accelerate the incremental expansion of the treatment plant from 25 to 35 million gallons per day. And this was supposed to take 2 years, and now their goal is to complete this in just 100 days. If you would like to sign up for updates regarding the things that the USIBWC is doing actively, I have added QR codes to the press release that the USIBWC sends out every month. Being from San Ysidro, I think this is something that all of you guys should be signed up for, to be quite honest. I'm going from good to bad to good to bad, just to keep things leveled here. Bottom here, the Bayer Boulevard Transit Village. So as many of you know, Bayer Boulevard has a parking lot that's currently, servicing X amount of spaces. Well, MTS has decided to send out an RFP for affordable housing, and the RFP has been accepted from Affirmed Housing for a 6-story building that will include 100 affordable units. This will cut out around half of the parking on Bayer and will be a mixed floor plan for large families who qualify in the 30 to 70% of the average median income range. This was just told to us about a month ago, but I think there's been talks about it already in the planning group. But I mention this because, again, this is all related to parking, and I know how we all feel about parking. Yeah. On to point number 4, for nonprofits and community organizations facing challenges related to federal policy, the San Diego Resilient Response Fund is a fund that has been released from the Previs Foundation, and this is basically an application for any community organizations or nonprofits to receive up to $30,000 for any resources or help they may need to adapt, respond, and remain resilient while nonprofit funding has been cut. So if you or somebody you know is still reeling from the impacts of this is a good opportunity. And of course, being that we are a underserved community, I think I imagine, right, I'm not trying to put words in the application's mouth, but I imagine that we would be at an advantage for getting some more help. Number 5 is related to some things that we've been seeing in the news. And at a time when immigrants and their communities are facing attack, I want to just reaffirm that you have rights as citizens or non-citizens, and that it's important to understand what those rights are. And without giving any political commentary on anything, I just want to make that point very clear. So as a part of that point, I have attached a QR code that will direct you to Alliance San Diego's website, which will explain to you what your rights are, how to notice a warrant from something that's not a warrant but just a piece of paper, those types of things, how to access some government services if you're not sure. I'm sure these are all questions that even if you know you're fine as a citizen, you should still probably know. Just to reiterate some other things, the Tijuana River air purifiers are still up. The application portal is still active. If you haven't gotten an air purifier yet, get it. They're literally handing them out. Like, it's so easy. The next thing is that last thing is that we're going to have another cleanup and dumpster drop off at Willow. This is going to be the second cleanup that we have. The first one was very successful. I want to thank some of the community members that were here, who showed up and really made their impact. We cleaned all of it up and it looked great, but immediately it was littered again. So we're gonna try to do our best to continue to address it, but obviously this has a larger equation, which part of that equation is unhoused people, the things that they leave behind, those types of stuff. I mean, those are things that are out of our control as citizens, as residents in this building, but we can do our best. That's gonna be on June 28th, and from 9 to 12, again at 180 Willow Road. If anybody has questions, we have 3 minutes left. Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, so, concerned about the passing of the wire, those apartments there, but I'll move to the next thing. So the power plant, they have 100 days to fix, right? kind of, that's what you said?
The USIVWC.
Yeah, but what's gonna happen with the water that's leaking before it gets to the plant? The one that's leaking in San Ysidro? That's my question. So like when the water's running, it goes to the
Sí,
plant.
sí.
But before that, it's leaking in San Ysidro by Dearmore, like right there. It's leaking before it gets to the plant. Is Vivian Mario even aware of that? Or did she said anything about that? Because the other water's gonna keep on running to IV. I mean, it's gonna be cleaner, but what about the water that's before the plant? It's leaking. The water.
Like in Dairy Mart?
Yeah.
To my knowledge, she hasn't.
That's
been
something
aware
that's
of that,
super
or-
concerning, because that's the water that's staying here. The one gonna fix that, it's just there, drying, it's bad.
Mhm.
And that's before the plant. That's why you can make a comment to that. To
Yeah,
me,
sure, of course,
Who's gonna clean that up?
right.
Yeah, Mr. Giancarlo, I think what she's trying to say, I want to make it clear that, yes, there's a solution for 100 days. The repairs is gonna be taking place for the sewer cleanup, but she's addressing what plans that there are for restoring the water pools around the whole river that right now are contaminated already. So that's going to take a different effort to clean up that.
No, 100%. Part of just like for everybody's awareness, and I'm sure we already had a few presentations on this too, but a lot of the reason that this is such a complicated issue to begin with is because of the different property owners that exist in the Tijuana River Valley to begin with. You know, one part is county, one part is EPA, one part is USIWC, one part is city, one part is right, and I'm missing like 5. And I'm not saying to try to pass the buck or anything. I'm saying that part of the reason that I think, for example, what you guys are doing right now, Christian and the rest of the planning group, addressing the correct members and resolutions like this, I think that's the most appropriate way to get your voice heard. Because it's different when it's being reported from me versus when it's an official address from you.
So if you would give us a report in the future, you know, what effort is going to be aimed at the cleanup part.
Okay. Yeah. I can
That's important because that's animal life, birds, and things that we already know are contaminated already. So, you know, it'd be nice to get an answer for that. Thank you.
We run out of time, but we're gonna move, we're gonna give you 2 minutes for questions. So I know Mr. Hernandez has a question. ¿Tú tienes pregunta también?
Bueno, esa parte. ¿San Isidro pertenece a alguna parte de San Isidro al distrito 40?
Sí, del Senado Estatal.
¿Qué parte de San Isidro pertenece al
Todo, de aquí.
¿Al 40?
Sí, al 40, con Steve Padilla, nuestro senador.
Pero no ha venido una sola vez para acá.
No. Bueno, sí vino hace como 3 meses.
Una representante. Es primera vez que oigo que Steve Padilla nos representa aquí en San Isidro.
Pues ya sean las elecciones el próximo año, así que lo va a escuchar más. De Hernández.
You guys remember one of the core problems over that bridge is simply lighting. The lighting situation, you know, is swollen. I don't know if that was part of the resolution, maybe I missed it. I think start with the small thing, like get lights up there, and they said the electricity is already running through there. It's just a matter of replacing the bulbs that's built so they can't be stolen. And then fixing it. I know that's part of public health plans, but that should be part of the resolution just to get lights.
I think it's multiple jurisdictions. There was a CIP conversation.
Yeah, well, so part of the thing is that actually this past fall, we got the, lights on the bridge to be serviced because they were previously non-operational. And so most of them, if not all of them, when I walked past them, were fixed. but I think it's not strong enough. It doesn't really look maybe as right as you would want.
Yeah.
But the lights have been fixed. So
Because there was additional solar lights that were added in addendum to that.
where
That were taken over the bridge, the one we cleaned.
the solar
The lights that were put up. That's the Willow Bridge, right? The one we cleaned?
yeah.
Yeah.
Where was it?
Saying that.
The solar lights?
Christian said that there was lights that they installed, but they were taken.
No, this is the ones that were there are the
Are the
ones
lights?
that are the lights.
Oh, jeez, that's cold.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
okay, and it needs to be retrofitted to.
Well, beyond the question of infrastructure is money. Allocate money to service the
And let's put up 180 million project for a new building for 100 units with no parking.
Oh,
yeah,
community benefits.
In which way? Sorry?
Didn't they more funding for some of those ones?
For Willow Bridge,
The ones that he's mentioning.
the housing project.
So now we're gonna move to the next topic.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lopez. Now we're gonna, I get the chairman, I do have some quick updates. The most important one is that we were asked to move locations by the San Ysidro School District. That's why we're having a hard time to even find a place to meet. Luckily, thank you to everybody that showed up to the meeting. We made an agreement. Now we're gonna move to the parent center. It's still gonna be this build, it's still gonna be here. We're gonna move over there, right? I
To the
think-
trailers.
To the trailers over there, right? So next meeting, I'm gonna put a lot of signs just to remember that we're gonna meet over there. And it's because there has been a lot of funding cuts through the federal government, through education, and I guess we're impacted by the cuts, and now we're gonna move over there, right? It should be around the same size, and we're gonna have